let's talk about something else, finances. A lot of people, a lot of times you hear people saying, oh, I want to move to the Gambia, I want to move to Ghana, I want to move to Tanzania, I want to move to Kenya. But how much money do you think might be enough to live like a pretty okay life in the Gambia?
It depends on your lifestyle. Now,
Right.
we always say, come over here and visit. Now,
Mhm.
see, some people, we don't know their eating habits. We don't know their attachment to the what do you call them? The conveniences.
Yes.
They might not want to come over here and wash their own clothes or skip a couple of meals. Those are all variables.
Or want a driver.
Or want a
something like
driver.
that.
Those variables are dependent on the individual. But what we say is when you come in here, you got to scratch all that toxic stuff off that you're used to in America.
Mhm.
You know, TV Guide or
Newspaper,
newspapers or running to 7-Eleven or the convenience store when you want an icy cup or Slurpee. You know, you got to
Or what holidays they celebrate.
Yeah.
You know, certain people celebrate certain holidays, and you got to put the money out.
So
It doesn't matter if you're in that situation.
right. So once you carve all that
Mhm.
toxic, wasteful,
Illusion.
illusional stuff out of your budget, you'll come up with a minimum amount that you need to survive.
And
Now,
you will know that.
and it's hard to say because we don't know the individual. You have to come over here and, you know, for a week or 2 weeks or a month and determine, hey, these are my eating habits. I can make it off of breakfast and dinner.
Mhm.
I don't need all this red Kool-Aid. I don't need white mayonnaise. You know, I don't need all this stuff. I can survive off of this right here. And that's the amount that is good for you. I can't say what's good for us is good for you. You have to determine that.
And what kind of debt that you have already? Do you still that you have to pay, or you want to pay, or you just don't want to pay, or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
You have to go by what you actually have,
Right.
and you would know that, especially if you still have a car payment there, house
Mhm.
payment. We
So-
really would know exactly how much you would need once you get here.
And-
Like he said, it's best to come for a visit,
Right.
and you can determine that with that visit.
Now, when we came over for two weeks, scouting out the Gambia in 2015, we stayed for 2 weeks. And during those 2 weeks, we were able to determine how much money we need to make it, how much money we need to come over here with to survive on until we can start developing extra forms of income. And for us, that amount was $6,000 for a family of four. For a family of four. And so, right?
It was actually 5 of us when we came.
Right. Okay. I'm
With
sorry.
children.
I'm sorry. $6,000 US dollars is what we came over here with
In hand.
for a family of 5. And we were able to maneuver and negotiate living off of that money until we start developing other forms of income, selling off resources that came in the trailers, things of that sort. You know, everybody's different. You have to determine what's good for you and your family based on coming for a brief visit.
Okay. And so after that, how are you generating? I know you're making billions.
Yeah, we saw you.
How did
We saw you when we saw those big Kenyan shillings that you was putting in, ching ching, ching ching. We said we want to be just like her, and so we started. Honestly, after
We got it from you.
we got it from you. If we had came on your channel and saw you making all that money,
We didn't know about that.
yeah, all that money stocked up in your safe in your compound, we would have never knew. I didn't let it out.
Oh my goodness.
You got security gate, right?
How are you generating revenue? Well, tell us. I'm not making billions like you do. Tell us how you're making revenue.
Billions. No billions.
So anyway, I mean, that's what we do. I mean, honestly, if I have to go out there and sell some peanuts, like, you know, there's a lot of women out there that sell peanuts and they're out there like a long time. If I had to sell peanuts to make it over here, I have no problem with doing that. And so if you can read between the lines, I don't put anything above generating income for my family. If I have to sell peanuts, I'll do that. If I have to sell watermelons, I'll do that. Enough to generate enough income to do what we really want to do and live at a comfortable level. So
So have you started selling any produce from Black Acres?
No, the watermelons are still growing, and the potatoes are still growing. Once rainy season is over with, that's when we'll start filming, and you'll see the watermelons growing. Because right now there's something out there eating the watermelons.
Yes.
Yeah, we go out there. I don't know if it's rats or snakes or whatever, but stuff is eating the watermelon. But we planted so many, they can't eat them all. You see what I'm saying? So once we get out there, we take the cats and the dogs. They'll be able to kill all those little rodents and stuff, and then we can start harvesting.
I also saw something to do with snail farming.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Now we're doing that right here on the compound,
in the backyard.
In the backyard. And so we're accumulating the snails and feeding them, and they're growing and stuff. And so when we get out there, it'll be a lot more organized where we can separate them by size and then look at moving them to the market and stuff, you know, because there are a lot of Nigerians and Ghanesians here in the Gambia that eat snails, you know, and we just found out today that some portions of the Gambians eat snails also.
They said they make it with some kind of sauce or something.
Right.
I don't know. Not all of the Gambians, but some of them.
A portion of them.
All right, interesting. That's very that's very interesting. So what kind of skills do you think are needed, and what kind of skills are needed in the Gambia, skills that the diaspora can contribute into the Gambia?
Teachers, medical, I mean, some of everything.
Yeah, some of everything, because now in the Gambia, there's a high illiteracy rate. And so we need to come in from the diaspora and set up our schools, Afrocentric curriculum, because on the continent, it's watered down. And let's be truthful. We think that we're educated when we get their education system, you know, running to Cambridge or running to Harvard. That is going to keep you submissive and keep them in a dominant position. So we kind of got to flip the script and say, hey, how can we empower our people? And the way we empower our people is through Afrocentric curriculums. You know, we're the original people. You know what I'm saying? We are the superior people. You know, we need to get that doctrine out there so we don't continuously run to their countries and develop their countries. And after we don't develop their countries, we want to come back here old and say, why it's not developed here? You've given your youth to the enemy. You know what I'm saying? Building up their system. And when you come back, you know, you can't really complain because it's your fault. You wasn't here to help build up the continent.
So do you have a plan of having a school as well in the Black Acres of the Gambia?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We want to educate our youth and have a fundamental understanding that it starts with Black man, Black woman, Black babies, equaling Black empowerment. Now, once we get that straight, the rest is history. And we want to put a challenge out to the world, whether you're African in Haiti or you're African in Jamaica or the Congo, come into Black Acres of the Gambia, stay for 2 to 3 months, go through that curriculum, then you can kind of go back out and disseminate that message. So yes, we do want to open up a school at Black Acres of the Gambia.
And how is the healthcare system?
The healthcare system is adequate. Now,
It
this
could
was
be better.
yeah, it could be better, but this is surprising. Now, in comparison to Ghana, the Gambian government invests more money in the healthcare than Ghana. You understand what I'm saying? So let's just say, don't quote me now. Let's just say Ghana contributes 25% of their gross national product to healthcare. In comparison, Gambia contributes 30%. So there's more investment into the healthcare sector than Ghana. And Ghana is a lot more built up than the Gambia. And let me also say that the healthcare here is dominated by foreigners.
Right.
The Cuban doctors that are here,
Indian.
Lebanese doctors. I haven't seen any Indian. Yeah, there are some Indian doctors. But most of the doctors that are operating facilities don't look like us. You understand what I'm saying? And so who knows what they're coming in here and affecting the women with? You know what I'm
Actually,
saying?
they just changed a lot too. Since
Yeah,
we've
it's
been here.
changed during the 4 years that we've been here and stuff. You know, we always had a certain a doctor, and now we go back, those guys are gone. Whole new people in, whole new processes, and the price of everything is going up. It's going up.
Some Cubans in here.
Yeah, Cubans, yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's adequate for basic health care. And if something is an emergency, then, you know, you might look at going into neighboring countries like Senegal, that's more developed and French dominated.
Okay,
Yeah,
so does
right.
that mean if someone is a doctor they can easily get a job in the Gambia?
Well, we put the message out that we shouldn't come here looking for jobs. We should come here to create jobs. So if you're a doctor wherever, you should look at coming here and opening up a healthcare facility to teach your skills
To the youth.
to the youth. You know what I'm saying? Open up a little first aid, you know, teach people CPR or first aid and things of that sort. You know, that is a lot more profitable to yourself and beneficial to the people as a whole versus coming here and working for a devil or something like that.
Oh, okay. You've mentioned that most of the health facilities are dominated by foreigners, people who don't look like us. Is it that they own the hospitals, or is it that they've just been employed because there's shortage of doctors?
There's not a shortage of doctors here because there's a lot of training and they just bounce around from facility. But I think it comes to investment. You know, when foreigners or devils come into the Gambia, they have the financial backing of their governments. So if, like, for example, there's a place here in the Gambia called the MRC, the Medical Research Center. Now, this place was here during colonization when they took the land from the Gambians, and they still are here occupying under the pretext that they're here to help the Gambians with medical aid. You see what I'm saying? And so their government is helping them to maintain that establishment, whereas they're saying, okay, we're here to help with tropical disease. You know, I mean, you can't help people if you come in and kill them and take their land. You know, that's their definition of helping. But our definition of helping is, you know, get the hell out of here and don't come back.
All right. All right. I get you.
So, yeah, they are here because their governments are helping them to come in and manipulate and poison the people. Testing, you know, when they want to take out some people, they know exactly what drugs to use, and they know exactly how to get it into the system through these bogus type medications or immunization programs that they got.
All right. I get you. So that's actually an opportunity for diaspora to come and establish facilities to serve the people. And now let's talk about land, because I know Black acres, when someone hears acres, they think about land. How easy was it to acquire the land? Could you kindly take us through step by step on how someone can be able to acquire the land in Gambia and avoid scammers?
Okay, now,
Y'all ever avoid them?
yeah. Now for us, yeah, the scammers, they're
always
abundant.
be there.
You know what I'm saying? For us, it was fairly simple because there were not too many people
At this
between
time.
us and the owner. And so now when we purchase land, we go directly to the owner. There is no middleman. And so when we were buying land, the first time we had a middleman, and he was scamming us.
He
was
created himself as the middleman.
He inserted himself in there. So he charged us a higher amount and turned right around and paid the owners a lesser amount and kept the profits. He never owned anything. And so the second time when we expanded the land, he tried to maneuver again. But the owner found out about it and said, I'm not part of this. And so that was a long, drawn out process and stuff. But that guy has been moved out of the picture. In fact, he's pending some jail time as we speak. And so now when we purchase land, we go straight to the owner, decide on the price, decide on the payment arrangements, and the document transfer. Everything is done at his end of the spectrum. Now, out there at Black Acres of the Gambia, for people who are not approaching the owners directly, there's a middle person, real estate companies. And basically, you want to talk about Institute Balcom out there. She's a YouTuber here in the Gambia, and she went out to C4, bag is on this side, and
the real estate
are opposite of us. And so basically you contact this real estate company and they'll do everything for you. And the plots are 20 meters by 25 meters,
about
$2,000 US dollars. And if you finance it, a 20 meter by 25 meters, you're looking at maybe $2,500. And they take care of all the paperwork. The only thing you got to do is either pay cash or finance it over a period of time. But again, they do all the paperwork, and they're a highly reputable organization if you want to take that route versus dealing with the owner directly.
Yeah, they bought up the land and they, made it into a estate.
Right. Chopped it up into 100 different plots.
Right. So it's starting to be a little bit easier, but you probably have paid a little bit more.
Yeah.
Versus going directly to the owner.
How do you get to know who's the owner?
Well, we were introduced with a friend.
Yeah, you got introduced to a friend. But basically, if you go out anywhere,
and look,
you'll see some land. And all you got to do is just keep opening up this perimeter, like this right here, until you run into a house or a compound. And you can ask, who's the owner of this?
And they will tell you.
And they will give you a name. And once you get that name, you have to do your due diligence to verify that that is in fact the owner. Are they a decision maker as to, yes, I can sell this land. I got the authority from the families that are involved to act as the head and sell the land, or no, you're dealing with a con artist that's nowhere in the program. So you got to do your due diligence and stuff. Okay. I personally don't think you need a lawyer. But for some people, they like to feel, hey, I feel more comfortable with the use of a lawyer, so they don't mind shelling out a little extra money. Personally, I'm a cheapskate. I like saving money. I can think, I can read.
But you might have people who come and will say, I don't know, I've never been here. It's probably best to get that lawyer if you don't know anything around and you don't want to work with so many people.
Right.
It's probably best that you probably, find a lawyer.
Yeah, but we never use any lawyers in America in our transactions. And we came over here, we've never used any lawyers in our transaction because, again, we could read, we could see, and we could think, and we can ask questions and find out, hey, if this is the case or not the case. So to each his own, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, so is the land on freehold or is it on lease?
It's freehold. Now we were thinking about putting it up under leasehold to be able to go in and draw funds to help develop bag faster. But at the end of the day, we said no. We'll just go ahead and maintain possession of the land. It's a freehold and pass it from generation to generation.
Wow, that's
So we own
quite
the land.
interesting. That's very interesting. So anyone can buy, or is it that the area that you've bought, someone can own freehold? Even in the city, someone can still get it on freehold?
Now, not in the cities, because that's heavily dominated by foreigners. And so that's where you probably come into a leasehold where you're leasing it anywhere from 20 to 99 years because it's the city, it's prime property. But as you move out into the boondocks, as we say in America, or the rural areas or the villages, you know, nobody want to go out there. So you kind of got these deals where you can find some freehold land. You just got to ask during the negotiation process, is it a freehold or is it a land lease? And they'll tell you at that time. They'll tell you. And you can also verify.
Oh, okay. And are there any taxes for the land?
Did you say taxes? Tax?
Yeah.
Yes, you have to pay taxes at the end of every year for the property. Yeah, taxes at the end of every year.
Okay. And is there a special type of visa that someone must have in order to be allowed to own the land, or you can just buy even if you're not on any visa?
No. Well, do you need a special visa in order to buy the land?
I don't think so. As long as you have the TN number.
Right, a tax identification number.
Yes. You don't. I don't think you even have to be a permanent resident at this time. But you can buy the land.
Right, because
no special.
Right, because as we drive out and about around the Gambia, we see land just everywhere where people have fenced it off. Now we know those people,
and they're not here.
They're not here, but these structures have been there for so long that they're dilapidated and they're crumbling.
Nobody's built them.
Nobody's built them. They're just sitting there. You know what I'm saying? So we don't think you have to be here to purchase the land.
Okay, awesome. Quick tips that you can give to someone who is interested in moving in the Gambia.
Any tips?
I would say yes. Come visit first. Come and see exactly what you want to do here versus, just, I don't know, just coming for a visit. That's what I would say. Do come for that visit. You'll know exactly what you want once you get here. Right. What you want to bring if you decide you want to move here, what you want to bring, the vehicle, if you want to just live here and not build here. You can probably, rent. You would know exactly what you want once you come here.
Right. And that's what I would say too. When all is said and done and you've done your research and you've talked to people that are on the ground that you perceive as trustworthy, you should cap that off with a brief visit to verify for yourself, because you cannot live your life through the eyes of others. You got to live your life for yourself. And so when you come over, you get to see stuff through your own eyes and say, okay, this is it or this isn't it. Let's keep looking. So again, like Sweet Juicy Mama said, answer, a brief visit will answer 99.999% of your questions. So come for a visit.
All right. Thank you so much. It's been
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for watching that amazing episode. I hope you enjoyed. Anyway, until next time, kwaheri.
Ah!
mi ka wo aka mi efu.
Ghana,